Hello everyone, hello. We are back with more FF14. We are just done the role quest for healer. Had to take a bit of time out of our day to do that. Let's teleport over to the Crystal Tower. And start up the next little bit of the story quest, so now we won't get caught behind that. Lena. Did you find the answers you sought? If there's nothing more you need, I will go lock the door. Need some directions. I have questions about the Tempest. The Tempest? That is the name given to the seas by which Calusia is bound. If you make a request to the Tamers, they will provide you with an armor to fly over the waters, but... Do you mean to leave right this moment, alone? Didn't help any. Nay, I will not seek to stop you. Go with the blessing of the shadow, and I shall await your safe return. Speak with the aspiring Amaro Tamer. Of course you gotta be up there. Man, I hate this outfit and can't wait till we get a better one. You require an Amaro. Just a moment, and I shall saddle our swiftest beast to fly you to the island. The open water? To the depths of the Tempest? Amaro can swim, yes, but to reach the ocean floor...
Ah, we have found thee. Word reached us of thy recovery, and thus did we gather with all haste. Ah. By thy looks I gather thou hast gleaned that which I came to tell thee.
Urianger has shared everything with us. The Exarch's true identity and purpose.
I offer no excuses. When I agreed to aid the Exarch with his plans, 'twas in full acceptance of the condemnation I would face when my duplicity was laid bare. Yet it is not rancor, but resolve that I sense in thee. Thou art fully intent upon walking thy path to its end, art thou not? If thou canst forgive my deception, or, failing that, set aside thy displeasure for a time, I do beg leave to follow thee. What strength and wisdom I possess are thine to command.
I forgive you. Let's go. I'm a danger to those around me. No more lies.
I thank thee. Doubt not but that I will do all in my power to repay thy kindness and fulfill the Exarch's wishes.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good idea. Leaving the Crystarium, I mean, with or without Urianger. What I did for you won't last forever. There's no telling when the light will break free again. Please, you must stay here. At least for a little while longer. We will find a way to cure this, I promise you.
How can you make promises? We don't even know where to start.
Alize, please. You know Reen was only trying to help.
Of course I know! I know only too well! But making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. It's a lie. Plain and simple. We've all searched high and low for an answer, and every one of us came back empty-handed. I am not about to stand in her way now. Not after failing her in her hour of need. No, the least we can do is...
We will go with you as well. There is naught to be gained by standing still.
Indeed, we have exhausted every other avenue. Lead, and we shall follow. If there is any hope to be found, then we will surely find it at your side.
Are we all in agreement then?
Is there aught we can do to help?
Though we may not know the whole story, we do know you're in for a fight. And while the Exarch's away, it falls to the rest of us to see the Warrior of Darkness is given a proper send-off.
You told them!
No! Well, not in so many words.
Aye, we didn't need it spelled out for us. When the night sky appeared over whichever place you went to, it was harder not to put two and two together.
From the moment I heard that you and the Exarch shared the homeland, I had my suspicions. Long had he been waiting for a certain someone to arrive, and I knew at once that it must be you.
Exactly. When he went up to meet you, 'twas clear it was no ordinary visitor. That spring in his step spoke volumes. I could feel his excitement.
Me too! That's right!
Yeah, yeah.
We do not fully understand where you or the Exarch hail from, or why you've all done so much to protect us. But we are deeply grateful nonetheless. So, if there is anything at all we might do to aid your journey, you need only name it. What would you have of us?
You might have invited them to join us, where there are not so many. But come, they are waiting. What is your will, O Warrior of Darkness?
Defend the Crystarium until we return. Leave it to us. We'll see the Exarch safe and sound. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Defend the Crystarium until we return. There's nothing I can do to cleanse you of the light's corruption, but I'll do everything in my power to keep it in check. If the Warden's Ether overwhelms you again, you will become a Sin Eater. So please, save your strength for when it really matters. The volunteers who journeyed to Calusia have been safely returned to their homes. They've also assured us that they will do their best to hold the Eaters at bay. He's Louise. Just gets worse and worse. God knows I've spent enough time charging into danger on our behalf that it's only fair that we return the favor. I once said that I wanted to fight for Estinian, that I wanted to save him, not to let him be sacrificed for a cause, and now I say the same to you. Just so you know, I will not look kindly on any further attempts to leave us behind. We do this together. Thou didst plan to commandeer Namaro for thy journey to the open sea? I fear the following dive onto Emetzel's underwater abode would drain even thy legendary stamina. Thus, during the convalescence, we considered the most efficient method for reaching the depths of the Tempest, and I believe we have arrived at an elegant solution. Yet ere we discuss this step, I suggest thou dost conclude such pressing business as remains to thee in the Crystarium. Once the sea closeth above our heads, we are unlikely to surface again until our grand deed is done. The storm-tossed seas. Thine affairs are in order? Then I shall unfold to thee my proposal. Our destination is the ocean floor, yet our goal is not simply to arrive there. Nay, we must needs have the means to breathe and fight freely. Thus would I petition the aid of one of the Fae, a being with whom I have yet to meet face to face. Rather than waste words on explanation, I bid thee follow me unto the hamlet of Sullen, which lieth to the south and west. All will become abundantly clear, I promise thee. Alright. So we get to go to... Alright, with Urianger to Sullen, let's teleport to the austere imperative. Is it the austere? Austal. The Austal imperative. Okay, another griffin. Cool. So this place exists over here. In an area that we haven't actually gone to. But yeah. It's a cool looking island. Oh, look at this land. This land's so good looking. A crystal tower poking its way up there. It always strikes me as odd that the crystal tower looks like that, but all other Allegan structures are like so refined in how they look. Like there's no symmetry to this tower. Hey Cheshire! Oh shit, I leveled up there, just flying around. Level 81. There, to the west. Canst thou discern the hump of an island rising above the water? That foliage-covered mass hideth the key to our safe descent. Swim close and plunge beneath the surface, and thou shall soon design the reason for mine insistence. Though it be much to my shame, I can but flail and flounder where thou mayest glide as a fish. I shall board a boat to the island, so spare one and all the spectacle of mine inept strokes. Apparently he has inept strokes. Come along, Ruby Carbuncle. So this island I pointed out earlier, that's where we're headed to now. No. The Isle of Ken. Well, that's an interesting looking rock formation indeed. Look at that. Two curved slabs of rock seem squeezed together here, giving the impression of a giant stone islands. So, I actually discovered this long before I got to this point in the quest. I like to just swim down into the lakes and rivers when they add them into the game to see if there's anything hidden down there. Though it appears solid enough, the rock yields slightly under your touch. Was the surface gently shifting, or was it your imagination? How are you doing today, Cheshire? Did you enjoy movie night? The locals call this the Isle of Ken, which I presume must refer to knowledge. Either that or someone was awfully zealous about marking his territory. Even seeing it up close, I'm not sure what's so special about this island. This lake is enormous. Assuming my geography is correct, this would be the mirror of Silvertear back in the source, though the size hardly compares. Well, what hast thou discerned? I've discerned that it's an ordinary island. It reminds me of a certain primal. It's just like the big one, yes, yes. Reminds me of a certain primal, indeed. Most perceptive. According to the lore of the Pixies, we are, even now, perched upon the back of an ancient Fey entity. Its name is Bismarck. Aye, the selfsame title by which we know the great feathered whale, revered by the Vanu of the Source. I would enlist its aid to bear us into the deep, and thence banish the water with an airy sphere, alike in form to the domes which do shelter the hamlets neath the Ruby Sea. Within its compass we may move unencumbered and defend ourselves when the hour of battle cometh, as it most like surely shall. Now I must needs ask for silence whilst I make my supplication.
Wir Sach, Bilan Bismail. Fallen si lor wislan, adas si alinal.
Van urs atslir, olfod thim, iri guath thi.
Oh dear. I don't need to speak Fey to know that didn't go well.
I know what to do. We need Feo Ul.
My snee yak! You've learned to call me at last! And where do you go? On a trip? A journey? I knew you wouldn't give up without a fight. Oh, my precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can. Yes, Bismail win picked. Van dromi drom jakom. Van reed rithje.
Ahar una, sahawin wisk. Isne rim, sor vierlo.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. He's only got manners.
It will be done, Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
An agreement is reached and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight. May the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Lo fallo ruis, van in narsitar, dir sitagnai.
And just like that, it's all gone back to the way it was.
What was you expecting? 100 years of honey and rainbows? Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes was miracle enough for me.
Ah, but the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
What the? Do you see that?
What a monster! Where did it even come from?
Whoa there!
It's not stopping. Run! Run!
Vanana Ana Tilden Sitok Iri Halsi Thunne Aktma Thonyasni Tagnai.
You just throw us on the ground and leave? What sack of shit?
Wow.
The breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The tempest's floor is laid bare. In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom. The last refuge of he who denies the light with every fiber of his being. You stand at the precipice, hero. Journey unto the heart of darkness. Finish it.
Norvrent, the Tempest. That's right, we've reached it. I dare say Urianger endured much playful attention from the Pixies to learn the lore of Bismarck. He is nothing short of a dedicated scholar. With all the water out of the way, we'll be able to venture quite some distance. M itself must be hiding somewhere around here. This is amazing! I can't even see the surface! Bismarck must be powerful indeed to create a dome of this size. I can only pray to whichever gods are listening that it continues to hold. I remember being impressed by the domes of the Ruby Sea, but this makes them look like bubbles in a stream. Oh, glad am I that Bismarck was true to his word. Oops. For an Ascian alone, it is, of course, a trifling matter to flee unto the rift. Yet I suspect such travel is nigh impossible with a mortal in one's custody. Nay, he would not soon risk his prize when the Exarch's very body serveth as the key to the Crystal Tower and its powers of temporal transportation. Thus am I all but certain that this underwater realm harboreth our friend and enemy both. We have but to find them. In the event that you leave the area, speak with Inuit amendment guards inclusive return to the Tempest. Waiting in the depths. Now, as for where we should be looking, I reckon that Emmett Salk will be sitting around in the open. I propose we follow the slope down towards the deeper trenches and keep an eye out for rock formations large enough to house a stronghold. Let's be off then, but once you're footing, the ground is still wet and like to be slippery. Alright. We got some deep sea leeches here. We got Clyonids, we got people doing some farming. So this is the Tempest, you guys. It is a fairly popular zone overall. Look, it's the Welk from Final Fantasy VI. This one's called the Sea Gelatin. And 32 yalms to the south. The gloom down here is so suffocating compared to the endless night sky we saw, but I suppose Emmett Selk had nowhere else to go. Not out of the ordinary here, as far as I can tell. What about that large formation over there? The southwest. Ondo Youth. He took right the fuck off. So naturally, we gotta follow him in here. There's 70 elms to the west. Isn't that far? Let's go over there and get that real quick. There's a thing called a Dagon. Tempest Swallow. Looks like it'll be just by that. $58 yalms to the south. Should be able to see it now. 50 yalms to the east. Oh, okay, I know why. It's down below. Yeah, we're not gonna go hunting for that right now then. Alright. Heading into the Ondo Cups. As you can see, this is where the Sahagin reside. And we haven't had too much dealings with the Sahagin past Leviathan in ARR, or Realm Reborn. But yeah, we get to see some more of them here. The finless ones, they followed me. Where have you gone? Was it you who took away our water? And so this is where the Ondo make their home. I had wondered. Pray forgive us any inconvenience we have caused. We were not aware your people lived here in the Tempest. We need this great dome of air that we might conduct a most urgent search, and thus beg you for your understanding. Chieftain, what are we to do? Are you emissaries of the Ancient Ones? The mysteries have stirred. We have seen the illuminated land shining through the gloom of the abyss. If you are the emissaries, the chosen, I bid you welcome. If you are not, I bid you leave. I am not sure I understand. Would you be willing to elaborate? It would seem not. I suggest we withdraw for the moment. So, what's the plan? Given your condition, I'm reluctant to suggest lingering here. That said, our presently meandering search would proceed far more swiftly if we could call upon the Ondo's local knowledge. Yes, I'd like to know more about this illuminated land the chieftain spoke of. Could it be Emmet Selk's stronghold, do you suppose? Perhaps he lit the lanterns upon his return? We cannot dismiss the possibility, but if these Ondo refuse to speak with us... Miro, do you remember my first scheme for entering the Yulmore? How I planned to ingratiate myself by offering lucrative trading opportunities with the Ondo? The individual I dealt with was reticent in manner and curious in custom, but we were able to reach an agreement nonetheless. I believe that with the right approach, we could reach a similar agreement here. What kind of approach did you have in mind? The chieftain fellow didn't leave us many options. If we are to tread the swiftest course, we must needs locate its beginning. 'Tis plain our all too dramatic arrival hath thrown the settlement into confusion. Were we to solve such problems as we have caused, and assure our hosts thereby that our purpose here is not inimical to them, they may yet prove amenable to reason. I smell chores, but very well if it can be done quickly. What do you think? I've nothing better to offer, but I do worry that what will happen if the Ondo's tales end up leading to a dead end. I cannot say for certain, but I sense this tribe has a deeper connection to the Ascians than first meets the eye. It warrants further investigation, thus I cast my vote in favor of aiding the settlement for the time being. We will make allies of the Ondo. Let's do what we do best. I'll do what I can, I suppose. Then it's settled. Ishtola, pray proceed with your investigations. The rest of us will see about fostering some goodwill. You know, I love Shadowbringers, it's fantastic, but playing it again, it definitely has a couple rose-colored glasses in that I completely forgot about their need to make you do menial chores when you're reaching the fucking crescendo of your game. Everyone loves when the game does that. Anyway, be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.